Alrighty, so we are back onto the mining fields to test another little something. The last test that we did, we figured out who would be the best miner and then what traits to use on the best miner. These traits are not the best to be using on the miners, but I had 5 of them lined up and already had one starred out anyway. So I decided to go ahead and just star out the other ones to see how much more of a benefit as far as time wise and speed with their efficiency to mining would it be with each one of these bonuses. Decided to go ahead and try out the starring of these guys since these guys are all the same and I don't want to burn up memory for the simple fact that the plague of world autosave data failed could come again, and I already had a bunch of these guys. So with that being said, we're going to test out the first Anubis and give him a time. He has 0 stars. I also evened them up as well. The +6 that you see is 2 work speed because I already had a +6 on him and I didn't upgrade him anymore. Instead, I just went through and evened these guys out so everything would be baseline except for the actual stars. So we're going to see specifically if this affects their mining as well. I know that it affects their handiwork speed, but I imagine that it would affect their mining as well because anything into stars affects their work suitability from what I've seen, regardless if the actual partner skill says anything about it, because this Anubis now is a mining 4, but it won't show that it's a higher one until you max it out. So we'll test that to see if that actually has any difference. Start out with the first Anubis with a 0 star. 3, 2, 1, go. Time. Okay, took him 22 minutes, 43 seconds. So I was actually right on. All right, we got next Anubis up. We got the 1-star Anubis. 3, 2, 1, go. Time 22:40. That is in fact 3 seconds faster than the other Anubis. Now, 1 star, not worth it because they're all starting with full sanity and full food and full health. So we have the 2-star. 3, 2, 1, go. Time. I had 12 seconds, which means that he did it in 20. It took 1 less break. We'll just say an even 21 minutes, which is basically 2 minutes faster than the last one. And that's only 1 other star up. That was the 2-star. Okay, now we got the 3 and the 4 up. 3, 2, 1, go. Time 21:23. That was weird. He went 70 plus ore without taking a break, got frustrated and started to slack off, or was unwilling to do anything. But then after he was back up, he ended up working for a very short amount of time before taking a break. And then after that break, he went all the way up to 4 more left out of the 120 and took another break. And because of that last break, he actually took longer by, we'll say 23 seconds longer than the last one. He was on track to being done faster. And if I had normal rock health, then they probably would have been done faster. But since the health is turned up more, it takes longer for them to get through it. That added time. Other Anubis. 3, 2, 1, go. Time. He did that in 16 minutes. So these are the final results. I'll say this, that I don't believe 1 through 3 is not really worth it. As you can see, it's literally only a couple of minutes, if a minute difference. But once you hit mining 4 on the Anubis, then that cut down another 5 minutes easily. So the one thing that I did notice between 0 and 1 was no difference. But between 2 and 3, the difference was the consistency of how many times they hit before they got a piece of ore. With the 2, it was not near as often. With the 3, it was more often. But with the 4, we had every 2 hits consistently getting 1 ore. So with the 3, it would happen every once in a while. So he'd do 3 hits, he'd get an ore. He'd do 3 hits, he'd get an ore. He'd do 2 hits and get an ore. He'd do 2 hits and get an ore. The same thing happened with 2 as well. So they were about on track with the same. But the 4, once he was upgraded to mining 4, the amount of damage that he was doing to the rock actually went up. And on top of that, the amount of times that he had to hit the ore was less to get ore out of it. So realistically, unless you fully upgrade them, then I don't think that it'd be worth it to invest just like 1, 2, 3 stars. If you're going to go for it, then you go for it all the way. And I would do it with some Astegons, because I believe that if the mining 3 takes 3 hits on a rock for them to get 1 ore, then once they hit 4, they're at the same speed as the Astegons. The Astegons take 2 hits to get 1 ore. If you were to max out an Astegon, then I'm thinking that it's 1 hit, 1 ore with mining 5. On top of that, with the Astegons, if you really want to try this out, which I'm going to be trying it out and I'll make a video about it as well, that once you max out the Astegons or an Astegon, the Astegon's ability is while you're mining them, they do more efficient mining. So with their attacks, if you put certain attacks on them that are widespread, you could probably break more ore all at once while manually mining. Now, as far as for automation mining, I don't even think that putting any investment as far as starring out anything would even be reasonable, because you could just put more of the Astegons out or more of whatever mining character of your choice is and get better results. And it all really depends on what you're going for. If you are mining exclusively just to get for materials, then you probably won't need too much with that. But if you're trying to mass abundance of metal from these ore, then just put out more stuff to mine, and then once those miners are done, take them all away and then throw out the transporters, clean it all up, and then put them away, and then there you go. You can go over and put your Yormantide out and whatever you have for electricity, and then you can cook all of it down and make an abundance of it, of whatever ingot that you're looking for. So yeah, that's my take. Not worth it to invest unless you're manually mining with an Astegon. Then I think it would be, but otherwise I wouldn't even bother with the starring. Keep you willy washed. Peace out.